Now, I don't know about you, but we had to do a lot of graphing in 5.1. And the first thing that comes to my mind is that there has to be a better way to solve an equation. I don't think anybody is sitting at their job graphing lines to figure out where they cross. So there's got to be a better way. And that's what 5.2 and 5.3 are about. They're about the better way. What is the better way or easier way or more precise way to solve? 5.2 is going to specifically focus on a method called substitution. And substitution means exactly what you think it means. When I'm not at school, there's a substitute. When I watch sports on TV, players are regularly substituted in for somebody else. So it's something taking the position of something else or something being replaced with something equal. That is what substitution is. So how do we use that idea of substitution to help us solve systems? So the way we're going to do this is we're first going to solve for one of the variables. Sometimes that step's already going to be done for us, but we basically want one equation to either say x equals stuff or y equals stuff. That way, whatever the stuff that x is equal to or y is equal to, we could substitute that in for x or y in the other equation. So substitute the step one equation into the second equation, and then you're going to have an equation that only has one variable, which we like. You're going to have one equation with one variable. And then you can solve that remaining equation. When you solve that remaining equation, you're going to get x equals a number. And you're going to plug that x back into one of your other equations to find y. Because every answer, just like we learned in 5.1, every answer is an ordered pair. So once you find x, you have to find y. And you're going to write your final answer as an ordered pair. And remember, you can always plug your answer back into both equations and check and make sure that your math is accurate. So let's look at some examples. On number one, step one is already done for me. I already have a variable that is solved for. This says y equals 3x. In fact, the other one also says y equals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3x and I'm going to plug that into the second equation for y. So I'm blowing the whistle. I'm saying, hey, referee, I need to make a substitution. 3x is going to go in for y. That substitution is going to happen, and now game resumes. So now we're going to solve this equation. So I'm going to subtract x on both sides. That's going to give me 2x equals negative 2. Divide both sides by 2, so x is going to be equal to negative 1. Now, when I was in school, I used to get really excited. I'd put a box around my answer, I'd move on to the next problem, and then I would be in so much trouble later because I didn't do what this question asked me to do. This question asked me to solve the system. I'm half done, so I would get half credit. I have found x, but I need to find y. So what I remember at the beginning of the problem is that y is equal to 3x, and we just figured out that x is equal to negative 1, so that means that y is going to be equal to negative 3. So we have the ordered pair that is the solution, negative 1, negative 3. So looking at number 2, neither of these equations have a variable solved for them. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to add y to both sides. And if I add y to both sides, I get that x is going to equal y plus 5. Now I could have also subtracted x and divided to solve for y, or I could have solved the top equation, but this looked like the easiest move and it got rid of a negative sign, and I always love it when negative signs go away. So I'm going to take this y plus 5 and I'm going to plug that in for x in the first equation. So I'm going to have y plus 5, couldn't tell what that said, plus 2y equals negative 1. I can combine like terms. Y plus 2y is 3y plus 5 equals negative 1. Subtract 5, so 3y is negative 6, which means that y is going to be negative 2. So again, I found half of my answer so far, but I need to still find the x part of my answer. So I'm going to go back up to this box. X is equal to y, which we just found out is negative 2, plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. So my y value here is going to be 3. Now on number 3, ask yourself the question, is one of these equations already solved for a variable? Do I already have a variable isolated? And in fact, I do. The first equation says y equals 2x plus 3. So go ahead and substitute that in to y in the second equation. Go ahead and pause the video. So I'm going to get negative 4x plus 2 times the thing I'm substituting in for y equals 6. And then I'm going to distribute, so that's going to give me 4x plus 6. I'm going to combine like terms. That's going to give me 0, so I'm left with 6 equals 6. And remember, just like in Unit 1, anytime all the variables go away, first check your work. Make sure your work is correct. This looks correct. I substituted in correctly. I distributed correctly. I combined like terms, and I'm here. If all the variables go away, we always ask ourselves the question, what's left? Is it true or false? Well, this is true. And what does that mean? We're talking about 2 lines, and we're getting something that is true. That means that this has infinitely many solutions because it is the same line. So all points on the line are solution. All points on the line. All right, number 4, let's take the first equation and solve for y. So y equals negative x plus 4. And then go ahead and pause the video and plug that in for y in your second equation. It's going to give me x plus negative x plus 4 equals 5. When I combine like terms, I'm going to get 4 equals 5. Just like the last problem, I'm down to having no variable, so I'm asking myself, true or false, does 4 equal 5? It does not, which means there is no real solution. And why is there no real solution? There's no real solution because these lines are parallel. Okay, I want you to pause the video and work through numbers 5 and 6 on your own, and then unpause the video and see how you did. So if you substitute 2y minus 4 in for x in the second equation on number 5, then you can combine like terms, add 4 to both sides, divide by 10. You're going to get that y equals 2. Remember, your answer is an ordered pair, so you just found half of your answer. Now we need to substitute that back in. X is equal to 2 times y, which we just figured out is 2 minus 4. That's 4 minus 4, so x is going to be equal to 0. So our solution, where these 2 lines cross, is the point 0, 2. Do the same thing on number 6. Go ahead and pause the video and work through number 6 on your own. So you're going to substitute x plus 1 into the first equation, or into the second equation for y. And then you're going to combine like terms. 5x plus 1 is 6, so 5x is 5, so x is 1. There's half of your answer. The second half of your answer you're going to get when you plug 1 into the equation that we have boxed at the beginning. So y is going to be 2 when x is equal to 1. All right, let's work through this last question together, and we are going to solve it today. You are deciding between 2 cell phone plans. Plan A has a $50 sign-up fee, so it costs $50 up front. And it's $20 per month. So 20x plus 50. Plan B has a $30 sign-up plan. It costs $30 originally, and it costs $25 per month. After how many months will the total costs be the same, and what will those costs be? So will they be the same means where are they equal? So this is y equals this. So let's set that equal to the other equation, 25x plus 30. If I subtract 20x on both sides, I get 5x. If I subtract 30 on both sides, I get 20. So x is going to equal 4 based on this. And what is x talking about? It's talking about the number of months. So they will be the same at 4 months. There's the answer to the first question. After how many months will the total cost be the same? They'll be same at 4 months. What will that cost be is asking for the y value. So it wants y when x equals 4. So let's just plug this back in. 20 to either the purple box or the red box. 20 times 4 plus 50. That's going to be 80 plus 50. $130 is the cost for 4 months. For both of them. And then the last question is asking, if you have to sign a 1-year contract, which plan will be cheaper? So what that's really saying is if I had to plug in 12, so I'm going to go to a new slide, y equals 20x plus 50, and that's A, and B is y equals 25x plus 30. And some of you might be able to do this without actually doing the math, but this is saying when x is 12, which is a better deal. I don't know about you, but I would much rather spend less money. So I'm looking for which one gives me the smaller number when I plug in 12. So this is going to be 20 times 12 plus 50. That's going to be $290. So plan A is $290 for a year. Plan B, 25 times 12 plus 30 is $330 for a year. So I'm going to go with plan A is cheaper for a 1-year contract. That's definitely the plan that I'm going to be using if I pay for a whole year. So let's recap the important parts of this video. 5.2 was all about solving systems using substitution. So when we're doing that, we're solving for one variable and plugging that in for that variable in the other equation. Remember that all your answers should be ordered pairs. Watch out for all real number or for infinitely many solutions and for no real solutions that could show up mixed within the regular problems. When you're working through a word problem, make sure that you set each up as an equation and then figure out what the question is asking and solve for that answer. Looking forward to supporting you in class. Thanks for listening.